What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're going to talk about pruning versus cutting back, when to do one versus the other, and the plants that require the certain pruning method that we're going to talk about. So I see a lot of people making this mistake of using pruning and cutting back interchangeably, and that's just not true. Pruning is not the same as cutting back, and if you do the wrong pruning method, you're going to make some big mistakes that can pay dearly with your plant health. And I'll show you one example that I actually left as a kind of as a test subject to show you guys what happens when you don't properly take care of your plants and apply the right care technique to that plant. The first thing I want to touch on is the differences between pruning and cutting back. Because like I said, a lot of people use them interchangeably, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Pruning is not the same as cutting back. Yes, both of them are removing foliage or removing plant matter, but they are not both the same. If you are pruning, you're removing 20% of plant matter or less. So if you have 100% of the plant and you remove 20% or less, say 10% or 5%, that's pruning. If you cut back, that is more than 60%. So if you have 100% of your plant and you remove 60% or 75% or 80%, that is cutting back. And there's a huge difference, as you can see, between those two. And so it's really important that now that we know the differences between the two, that we apply the right technique to the right plants. Because there are certain plants, if you cut them back, they'll just flat out die. And there are certain plants that if you prune them, it really won't be as effective as cutting them back. So now that we've talked about those things, I want to give you some examples. So behind me I have a thyme plant. Perennial herbs, for example, are thyme, rosemary, sage, things like that, depending on your area. Rosemary is not a perennial in our area. However, rosemary is a perennial in a lot of other warmer zones. So, rosemary, thyme, sage, oregano, another good example that we'll go back and check out oregano as well. But also, not even just perennial herbs. Mint is another one, by the way. Not even just perennial herbs, but also berry bushes. So if you have things like blackberries and raspberries, cutting them back substantially is going to be far better than just pruning them. Because when you cut back, roses is another good example. They just keep popping out. There's so many that are really good. So when you cut them back, it actually forces them to produce a lot more new growth, and that new growth is what actually is desirable. You don't want the old growth with things like raspberries, because raspberries don't fruit on old growth, they fruit on new growth. So cutting them back encourages a whole lot more of that new side growth and fruiting growth. With something like basil, or something like an annual herb, basil is just one that I can think of, or parsley, cilantro. You would want to prune those. If you prune those, it's going to allow the plant to produce more growth, but it's not going to cut it back so far that it's a complete shock and ends up killing the plant. If you cut back basil, you'll pretty much kill it, guaranteed, because of the fact that it just doesn't like to be cut back. It likes to be pruned. It likes to be topped, and that's where it'll kind of fork and create more growth, and it starts bushing out. And so that's something that we can use as a gardener to our advantage to help the plant become healthier without killing it. So those are some examples of pruning. Oh, and really quick, by the way, a lot of you ask what I use when it comes to pruning shears and tools. So anytime I am pruning, I like to use scissors. Scissors are a great way to prune because a lot of the stuff you're pruning is soft-wooded plant material. It might be basil, or it might be like the tops of thyme, or it might be like a little bit of sage or something like that. I'm just throwing out examples. All of that's pretty soft, and it's soft-wooded, so I can get through it with scissors without much trouble. If I'm cutting back implies you are cutting back into the stem, and you're really cutting back some of that harder, woodier, tougher plant material. I would never go with scissors. You're sending a boy to do a man's job. Get some nice pruners for that. So here's an example of a properly maintained, properly cut back thyme plant. Thyme is a perennial herb, and so it'll come back every year, assuming you take care of it and keep fertilizing it and giving it what it needs. It's going to keep coming back. This plant last fall was about, I'd say about a foot, foot and a half in circumference. I mean, this thing was huge. As you can see, I have cut it back to basically the size of, a small bowling ball, I guess, for lack of a better example. And so this is cut back substantially. Not so much that it would have risked killing it, but enough that it tells the plant, okay, I don't want you focusing on flowering. I don't want you focusing on too much growth. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to continue to grow from the original woody bits that were clipped back. I'm going to continue to force new growth, but that new growth, it's set back enough to where it's fragrant, it's fresh, it has a lot of essence to it. It's not a lot of woody stuff. It's not really woody and tough. It's a lot of new growth. That's what you get when you properly cut back your perennial herbs. That's what you're going to get when you cut back your raspberries and your blackberries. It's going to encourage a whole lot more of this tender new green growth, and it's not going to focus as much on production as it is just kind of bouncing back, because all the energy, remember, all the energy is in the root system. And the root system said, I can maintain a plant that has a foot to foot and a half circumference. I can maintain this much plant material. When you cut it back, the root system has not changed. The root system still can maintain this much, but you've cut it back to this much. And so what happens is it actually sends out all that energy and produces this beautiful, lush, new kind of top of new growth here. And now that we've cut it back in the fall, now we can come back and we can properly prune. This is when we would prune. This is when you would harvest. So what we do is just kind of take the tops and just take a little bit here. And this is what we call seasonal maintenance versus growing season maintenance. So seasonal maintenance is not the same as growing season maintenance. If you have seasonal maintenance, that is pruning in the spring or the fall to prepare you for the growing season. Then growing season maintenance is quite literally this. This is during the growing season where we want to maintain the shape, the health, and we're pruning off stuff. Yes, we're eating this, we're using this in our cooking, but what that's doing is actually encouraging more growth. That's going to encourage the plant to continue to bush out rather than to flower. And so that's kind of the difference in also the timing of when you do what. Because if we cut this plant back right now, it would basically kill the plant, because all that energy has grown out new, and it's taken so much energy to push out new growth that if we came back and just cut that all back, the root system would not really be able to produce a lot more growth. In fact, it would stress it out and most likely kill it. And now here's an example of a plant that was not properly cut back. This is a plant, as you can see, was not maintained. This is starting to flower in many locations. Flowering is never good because flowering loses all the flavor. Flowering also stops growth. This is also really overgrown. A lot of this stuff is starting to turn woody. It's really not producing a whole lot of new growth from where it was last year. This is about the same size, meaning we really haven't gained anything. And if anything, we made the plant less healthy. And so what we need to do is we need to maintain this plant. And so in this instance here, this is what I would do if I have not maintained it all. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this plant back. It's so important to know the difference and when you would do what. So this plant has never been taken care of. Therefore, I can cut this plant back because the root system will have all that energy still there. Okay, all that energy has not been lost because I've never cut this plant back. Once I cut this plant back, that's when I would go into more of a pruning maintenance, just kind of general care after I'm done pruning. So after I'm done cutting back, I should say. So I'm going to take this plant and I'm going to hack off all this beautiful herbaceousness, and I'm going to take all that inside and use it. I'm going to dry it up so none of it's being wasted. But as you can see here, I'm coming in here and I'm really hacking this back because I want to tell the plant, no, I don't want you flowering. No, I want you to focus on growing. I want you focusing on new growth. So we're going to come in here and hack off all this. This is so overgrown. It's so overdue that now we're talking. And not only is this good for plant health, it's also good for your garden space. See, when this plant is super big, it takes up so much unnecessary space. It's actually wasteful on space. If you keep this plant properly pruned and go into it with the mindset that this plant really doesn't have to be a whole lot bigger than this, as long as I keep maintaining it and keep pruning it and keep the health up, this plant can produce all the time that I need in this amount of space, rather than this amount of space where it's flowering, it's getting woody, it's losing flavor. It's just taking up so much more space. So proper care techniques can actually help you to grow more food in less space. So now that this plant has been really cut back, and I've cut this plant back substantially, now, like I said, now we're going to wait for this to grow back. We're going to wait for this to produce a lot more new growth. And then that's when we would come in with our scissors, and we would come in and just kind of make sure that we're keeping it shaped, keeping it producing that new growth, keeping it producing those side shoots and getting it bushy again. And that's then going to get us set up for the fall. So it's all cyclical. So ideally I would have done this in the fall because that's when you would do your big prune back, because this is now going to set it back, where this might take 5 to 7 weeks to get it back to the spot where it was, where I can actually harvest from it and enjoy it. Here's an example of a sage plant that was cut back. This one was cut back substantially from last year, and we did this in the fall. And as you can see, it is producing all this new beautiful growth. This thing was absolutely huge. It spanned all the way out here to where my onions are at. In fact, I actually forgot this piece here that just kind of slipped away from me, but it was all the way out here where this piece was. I mean, this thing was way the heck out there. And I pruned this back, and as you can see, this thing is just lush. It's so beautiful. And so I'm going to start pruning this. I'm going to start maintaining this probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks, where I can actually start harvesting. I mean, I could theoretically start taking leaves from it right now, but I like to prune my herbs basically by the little stem. That way I can take, a nice little bouquet of it into the house and use it as a herb sachet rather than just leaves. Just my preference, but I prefer to let it grow out, bush out a little bit more before I start maintaining it and pruning it. But as is, this stuff's ready to go, and it's so tender. As you can see, it's tender, and that means it's going to be very, very fragrant. Last but not least is the oregano. Now this thing has kind of become famous because of how big it has gotten. This is just one oregano plant. This right here, this whole thing is one oregano plant, and it has just spread and sprawled and grown. And this is a prime example of what can happen if you don't properly maintain your herb plants. This has now become a borderline nuisance for us because we just don't need this much oregano. And so I have been pruning this back. I've been pruning this back to get it to go, to get bushy. I've been trying to maintain the overall health of it, but I have never cut this back. And that's one of my biggest mistakes with, just my lack thereof of care with this plant, because had I cut it back, it never would have gotten to this size. I would have been continuously cutting back. I would have been continuously cutting back the new growth, the stuff that would have sent down new roots and spread throughout the bed. I would have been cutting all that off every single year, keeping it to a nice contained size, like the oregano plant that I'll show you. And so lastly, I wanted to show you the properly maintained oregano plant. As you can see, a huge difference between what you just saw and what you're seeing now. This has been cut back every single fall to a manageable size. I've kept it from spreading, and even though this plant is just as old as that plant over there, this plant is about 10 times smaller. So this plant has been properly maintained, it's been properly cut back, and as you can see, all this woody stuff here, that was from the fall, and what is coming up in between all that old woody dead growth is all this new beautiful green bushy growth. This has been maintained properly to where now I have a contained herb plant that is producing high quality herbs for me. Rather than going for volume, I'm going for quantity. Rather than going for quantity, I'm getting quality. So that's what I'm getting from these. I'm not getting a massive explosion of low quality herbs. I'm getting a sustained quantity of high quality herbs. And so that's really what I want to drive home with this. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you found this video informative, make sure to throw a like up there. I absolutely love filming these videos for you guys, and it was just a nice day to get out in the garden. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. I'll catch you all later. See ya.